This video is going to be a little different. So I'm on the East Coast. We got walloped by a snowstorm. You do have a regular video coming where, I have a channel that I noted. I just haven't recorded it just yet, okay? So that might be a little late. I might be posting that later in the afternoon. But this one was actually inspired by a comment on one of my other videos. And the individual stated, what was it? Something to the effect of, I have a hard time understanding my guides. We need explanations from you, which I wasn't offended by that at all. I think the reason that individual stated this is because sometimes in my videos I do say take it how it resonates, or I'm not really sure what they're sending me. What else? I say a lot of things, but yeah, for the most part that's what I'm referring to here. But the reason I do that is because sometimes they send me visions and I don't, what they send me and how I describe it might not be enough to trigger that, oh, pay attention. And what they're showing me right now is leaves. So there's an oak leaf, there's a maple leaf, which I'm really familiar with, and there's some other leaf. It's like a golden yellowy color, and like a bulbous in the middle part, and then like a little point. So I don't know, maybe I want to say birch. I don't know if that's right though. But anyway, so the way I would describe that is a yellow leaf. I wouldn't say oak, I wouldn't say maple, because I'm just not sure what the label is, like what it's really a part of. But you grew up around birch trees. Maybe they were in your backyard and it's a part of your childhood. That yellow leaf description might come at a time where you're sitting in the park and you see a birch leaf fall right on the floor. That's going to be a sign from your guides to pay attention to what this person is saying. Pay attention to this video. It's going to help bring your attention to, and also maybe even interpret something that I'm saying, because I haven't lived your life. I don't know. Like, they send me visions and they send me songs and they speak to me, but it's not, so Spirit isn't like holding our hands through this process. Yeah, they're there for us. Of course, they are always there for us. But the point is for us to learn to develop as a soul, to also remember our divine connection, and to develop that connection as we learn and grow. I wrote things down because I didn't want to get too distracted, but so that's why I'm making this video. This video is about like connecting with your guides and how to start off if you're just not sure. So the reason why it would help you is because, like I said, it will help you interpret things around you, because they will use things around you. It's the most efficient and effective way for them to communicate with you. If you are someone who finds yourself in the car or driving on highways for most of your day, guess what? You're going to see things on license plates, whether it's words, those, what do they call them? Vanity plates, or images, or even like bumper stickers on the the trunk of the car. That's what they're going to use, because that's usually what's in your line of sight. If you are at work dealing with multiple business cards, they're going to use a business card to get through to you, okay? Whatever question you posed, that's what they're going to use. What's around you? You're a baker. Maybe you're going to come across some kind of a oddly shaped cookie cutter that's going to, ooh, I'm getting notifications. Okay, so yeah, they'll use like an oddly shaped cookie cutter to respond to something that it is that you asked. Whatever, it's going to be different for everyone, okay? But that's why even if you watch these videos, we can give you messages, we can interpret things to the best of our ability. But for it to really resonate with you, and for it to really show you the way I'm getting, because I see a map, so to really direct you in the appropriate, on the appropriate path or way, you have to be connected to your guides and be open and responsive to the way they communicate with you. And it will just help things be more clear for you. So how you can do that, the first things first is always, I mention this in my videos all the time, but always surround yourself with, the divine white light as a method of protection. Can it be more involved? Of course. You can follow when I started out, I was listening to Steve Noble. He had guided meditations that I loved, that really helped me. along my path. So try that. Try guided meditations for psychic protection, for spiritual protection, or, if you follow a meditation for connecting with your guides, I guarantee you at the very beginning, they are going to walk you through protecting yourself energetically, okay? It is very important. If you're here, you're already open to knowing that there is more than meets the eye, right? There are different types of spirits. There's duality. So we have light, and with that we have the dark. You don't want to be influenced by the dark. You always want to align with the light. You always want to be connected to that, okay? And the higher realms. That's where you want to get your guidance, your information from. Why? Well, they want you to be in fear, in chaos, in anxiety, in uncertainty. So you don't want to open yourself up to that negative influence. You want to block that from your life so that you're more certain of your path, right? That doesn't mean that you're never going to have questions, you're never going to have doubts. Of course, you're still human. You're having a human experience, but you're more protected. Oh, I heard protective. Okay, well, you're more protected from any outside negative influence, okay? Especially when you're asking those questions. That's who you want to connect to the light, to the higher realms. So start with that. And okay, so I went into why you need it and how to do it. Surround yourself with a divine white light. So the way it works for me is I visualize myself. I see it around myself. It's almost like I'm viewing myself in the third person first. There's a divine white light around me physically. And then it merges, just visually, this is what I get. It merges with me, myself, that I'm looking from my perspective. And I see the white light all around me, okay? Underneath, over me. It's like a sphere, a bubble of protective white light. That's what it is. And I actually say it goes out like, excuse me, if I'm driving, I do say that, it extends for 40 feet in diameter in every direction. I just like to be covered, okay? You don't have to do that, but you could just envision it around you and you will be energetically protected, okay? Then engaging with your guides. So you want to kind of make it a part of your routine so that you just get better at decoding their messages. If you feel energy, then you're going to start to attune yourself to the feeling of them, of their frequency. Like you will feel it. What it feels like for me is like this, I always say this, it's like a warm hug. That's what I feel like. It's like this energetic blanket around me, and it's like, I don't know, it's really warm. It feels like love. If love was personified into a blanket, that's what it would be. That's what it feels like. Right? That's the only way I can describe it to you, okay? So you might get that sensation. Or it might also be something that, for example, if you're meditating, you might feel things slow down and you'll just suddenly feel this peace and this calm. It's almost, I feel like it's here, like your third eye. That's also something else that happens. Do you know when I realized that was when, again, this was at the very beginning of my process of accepting my gifts. And then, okay, if I'm going to channel, I knew that I needed to be connected. I didn't want to be influenced. So I was like, okay, how do I better make sure that I'm attuning to the right frequency, right? So I used Jose Silva meditations also. And so he does this countdown. And it's as you're counting down, look it up. I really do recommend it, okay? As you're counting down backwards, it's almost like you are going deeper into, I don't know, like the psychic realm. That's what it feels like, okay? So if you do it, you might also get that sensation. And that's how you'll know you're connected to your guides. It's just an example. It's what happens to me, so that's what I can describe to you. Again, see, it's not going to be the same for everyone. So I can only explain what I've experienced. You might listen to another channel and they'll describe the way they connect and they'll describe their interactions with spirit in a very different way, because it really is different for all of us, okay? It's unique. It showed me a fingerprint, like literally it is unique for everyone. Okay, there might be some overlap, but for the most part, everyone's got their own way of knowing who they're connecting to, okay? Okay, start engaging with your guides. Start decoding their messages. Dog was grumbling, and I am late. I had to give him his snack, so that's all that happened. Okay. So where was I? Engaging with your guides to start decoding their messages for yourself. Okay. So when you first start off, you've learned how to psychically protect yourself, and now you want to actually communicate with your guides. If you don't know where to start at asking them to show them that you're there with you. And be specific. Say, you know what, show me a white feather. And just be open to how they communicate. Again, if you're someone who's always in the car, you'll see a white feather on a license plate, or you'll see a white feather on an image of a bumper sticker, a logo, I want to say, or on a business card, or you will actually see a white feather fall poof, right in front of you as you're walking randomly. Okay, no bird, you don't see the bird, but you see the white feather. So start with there, and you can also start there. Use anything. You can say, show me a blue butterfly, show me a dice. You can ask for a dice. You'll see it. Maybe you'll see it in someone's, hanging on someone's rear view mirror. Whatever it is, just be open to how they send it to you. But they will send it to you, and you'll get better than at communicating. Like, okay, you'll feel more confident. It's almost, that's what it is. It's like feeling more confident about your connection. Like, okay, I really am connected with them. All right, they're answering me. Okay, let's see where this can go now. Guess what you're doing right there? You're opening yourself up more to their recommendations. I just saw 144 on the clock. Yeah, so to their recommendations, to their guidance, and the way you decode their messages. Again, of course, it's going to be different for everyone, but you'll sense that it's for you. It will be something that is like undeniable. Let's say, for example, I don't know, you're having a rough day and you get into your car and you're just like, okay, all right, Spirit, when is this going to be over? And all of a sudden, you turn the radio on and that song they're showing me, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. All the dark skies have disappeared, something like that. Will come on. They're communicating with you there. So you're going to feel it because you're going to be like, whoa, what are the chances that this song came on? It's not a part of the regular rotation that you usually hear. Most radio stations you'll hear, you get into the car at around the same time. For a period of time, you'll hear the same songs play at that time. And this one, whoop, all of a sudden, something just switched it up. Maybe it was a request that came in and they honored it. I don't know. Like I said, it's going to be different, but you're going to feel like it's something undeniable in that way. The little things that you can do to continue decoding their messages and just, of course, being open to their communications is picking a time of day and regularly connecting with them. It's like any muscle. They're showing me that muscle, like working out again. It's any muscle. It's any skill. The more you use it, the better you get at it. So the more you make it a part of your everyday life, the better you're going to be at understanding what it is that they're sending you, understanding how they communicate with you most. Again, it's like I told you, they're going to use whatever. I think I told you in this video. I don't know, because I started and stopped this a couple of times earlier. I was getting so distracted, which is why I wrote it out. Finally, I was like, okay, get organized, girl. So, yeah, so I wrote it out. Anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so they're going to use what's in your everyday environment to effectively and efficiently communicate with you. That's the easiest way for them to kind of give you hints, things that are around you. Nature is really easy for them to manipulate. I think I did post that. There's a video that I recorded where I was describing, don't ask me which channel it was, but I have no idea what the rest of the video was about, but I remember trying to ease the message or just kind of give hope by describing a specific event. So there was a point where things were really, really bad, okay? And this was like a span of several months. And so every once in a while, I would just say, I even though I'm connected, I know I am, I'm intuitive, still, we all need that, like, that reminder. Just, you didn't let go, right? You didn't, kind of like talking to spirit and just being like, you didn't forget about me. You're not ignoring me. Just show me you're here with me. And there was one incident where I was laying in bed and I was so upset. It was nighttime. There's no reason for birds to be chirping at nighttime. And so I said this, I was like, oh my God, spirit, just let me know that you didn't forget about me. You didn't leave me. I'm so lost right now. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just show me you're with me. That's all I need. And all of a sudden, a bunch of birds, a bunch, not just one chirp. It was a bunch of birds that just started chirping, chirp, 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 and they kept going on. And first it caught my attention, but I was just like, okay, why are these birds chirping? And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. And once it dawned on me, and it's like basically like they're showing me a light bulb go off. Once that light bulb went off, and I was like, oh my God, I asked them to show me that they're with me. Once I acknowledged that that was that sign, then the bird stopped. That was it. That was what I needed in that moment, and that's what they did for me. So, and there's another incident. They use birds with me a lot, but where I financially was really going through it. I mean, oh my goodness. Okay, so what I described was like, I left a pretty secure position because I wanted to start my own practice, and I had everything saved. I had enough saved up, plenty. But then my father got sick, and so of course that sent me down a really difficult financial path. And I'd gotten to a point where I had exhausted my savings, and I was like, oh my goodness. And work was really slow. So things were just not going the way they were supposed to. And like, what I had planned for kind of got thrown out the window. I'm seeing like a planner going out the car window. That's literally what happened. And I was devastated. I was in a really, really dark place. I was crying like anything. I was like, why did I followed my intuition. I'm an intuitive person. I followed it. And this is where you brought me. Why? That's where I was. And all of a sudden, like a hawk landed on my fence holding a squirrel. And it was something that was weird. And the hawk made eye contact with me. I was in the kitchen making my coffee in the morning when I was like bawling my eyes out. Like, why? Because it was like the last day. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything. I have to pay these things that I have no money. I have nothing. Like nothing. That savings is exhausted. I just have enough to pay certain bills. I don't have enough to pay these. So it was a bad situation that I was in. And that hawk landed on that fence with that squirrel, made eye contact with me, left, and the squirrel was there. I had to go pick it up. It was horrible. And I was like, great, one more thing. But then after I cleaned that up, I went back inside, and then something just brought my attention to my phone, and I thought, let me Google that. I Googled it, and what I saw was like the spiritual meaning of it. Like it meant that there was like a gift or a solution coming. And so I kid you not, by the end of that day, there was money that from my last job, like, you invest in things, and so whatever, I wasn't able to access that earlier. So it wasn't even an option in my mind. And then all of a sudden that day I remembered it, and I was able to take whatever money I needed. Like the solution came to me. It was there. That was a sign for me. Okay. So you might find yourself in those positions, and that is what it's going to look like when they're trying to get in touch with you, trying to show you that they're with you, that they're walking with you. You just have to be open to the way they communicate. Again, I know I've said it, I sound like a broken record. It's going to be different for everyone, but it really is, okay? So just keep that in mind. The other thing I want to tell you, because they're showing me like breadcrumbs versus holding hands. So they're not going to hold your hand through lessons that you have to learn. They're going to give you guidance. They're going to give you the breadcrumbs to follow and to lead you to the solution. Okay, okay. See, oh my God, be open to the way they communicate. Okay, so right now what they're showing me is like, this is very specific. I think I was in the 8th grade and in biology class, and there was a teacher who, he was not about giving you the answer. He would walk you through, and it didn't matter how far back you had to go. So they're showing me one incident in particular. So it had something to do, I will never forget, because the response was mitochondria. And I drew a blank though when he called on me. I loved bio. I was great at it. but I just drew a blank, and my response, like, I don't know, came out. And I literally, when I, like, crickets are chirping in my ear, and then I'm in a panic because I'm on the spot, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know how we get energy and what, glucose? Is that, maybe, let's, whatever. Anyway, I was a deer in headlights. But what this teacher then did was, okay, let's say you take a bite out of an apple. What happens? And we literally went step by step by step by step. I take a bite out of the apple, I chew it, I swallow it, it goes into my stomach, it gets digested, it goes into the small intestine, and what happens there? It gets absorbed, okay? It goes into the bloodstream, and then what happens? Like, we just kept going, and then, like, I came with, uttered the answer mitochondria. So he said, he's like, never say you don't know. Just think about the steps. You know the answer. You will get to the answer. That's what they're bringing to me. That is what they're here to do for you. You signed up for something, some experience. And part of you knows it, you know, your higher self knows it, but you're walking through this life and you're remembering your connection. You're remembering certain gifts maybe that you have, or talents, but it's also about your soul's growth. It's also about evolution. It's about learning and the journey for becoming a better you. So they're not going to hold your hand through every step of the way, because then what happens? Say, for example, I said, I don't know, and that teacher just gave me the answer. I would, to this day, I mean, now I am way past 8th grade, okay? Like decades past that age. So it wouldn't have stuck out in my mind. It would have just been, he gave me the answer and it would have just been done with. That's what would happen if they did everything for you, if they just gave you the answer. You wouldn't learn, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't evolve. And the reason you have your spirit team, they're showing me people that are like going through a checklist and evaluating. It's not about evaluating. It's more about like going through the checklist and making sure that you complete the tasks that you came here to do, the lessons that you came here to learn, that you wanted to learn, that you wanted to experience. That's what they're going to help you do. So they're going to give you the crumbs that you need to follow. Because I see Hansel and Gretel going through the woods, just picking things up and putting it in their pocket. Okay? That's what they're going to do for you. Just be open to that guidance, though. That's the only thing I can say, is that it's not always going to be, this is another thing that I really want to tell you, it's not always going to be what you want to hear, but it's going to be something that you need to hear, or it's going to be something that you need in your life. They're showing me a scenario where you're like, not you, but someone is like sitting in their car just dreading going into work, and this is every single day because I see the seasons going, and it's like, there, I hate this job, I hate it with every bit of my soul. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And then guess what? You get laid off. Okay, you hated this job, so the universe was like, all right, find a new path, find what it is that you would want to do. It's then your responsibility to figure out, all right, if that's not it, I hated that. It was sucking the life out of me. I was miserable every single day. That's not how I want to live my life. What do I want to do? What does spark interest? And you're going to start seeing, like, maybe a certificate course is going to come your way. Not once, not twice, 3, 4 times. You might get a flyer. You might have a conversation with someone and they're going to talk about this position that they found at this company, and they're hiring. Maybe you want to look into it. Something is going to come across your way. You might not want it, because let's say you're in a certain field and you're like, do I really want to go in that direction though? I'm used to this. This is comfortable for me. This is what I know. But even though what's on that side, what's in that company is something that you don't really feel comfortable with, but you never know. It's something that you might excel at. It's going to open up new doors for you. It's going to open up, I see a whole new world. You know that Aladdin song where they're flying on the carpet? That's what I see. It's going to open up a whole new world for you. So that's what you're going to find at that new, I just heard inexperienced, I guess. or you might feel inexperienced for, this is going to turn into a reading. You might feel inexperienced for that role, but the person, like the HR or the hiring manager, whoever that is going to see something in you and feel like you're the right fit. And it's because that person that you had a conversation with, guess what? Spirit put them in your path for you to have that conversation, for you to hear that option. Take that option. Try it. What's the worst that can happen? You don't get it? Then, okay, maybe that wasn't it. Maybe the point of it was to get used to interviewing again, because you've been at that job for so many years that you haven't gone on interviews, and so you're inexperienced in that way. You don't know how to sell your talents like you used to. So it's just like a little, okay, preparation, and then the right position comes in. Or you hand that company, that hiring manager, your resume. The position that they were hiring for or interviewing for wasn't the right one, but you know what? They were thinking about creating a new position, and that is something you would be right for. You said something during that interview that sparked in that hiring or that recruiter's mind, oh, I need to keep this person in mind because they would be perfect for that, and we're going to start that in 3 months. They'll contact you and they'll tell you. You never know what doors are going to open up. Okay, if you are telling the universe you are not happy, you want to change, they're going to help you change. They'll be like, okay, in whatever shape or form it's going to be. I see the Tower card. Maybe it's going to be the Tower card, maybe it's not. If you catch on to their hints, if you're communicating with them regularly and you see the signs, oh, I really hate this position. Maybe it's time for me to look for a new job. You'll already be in that process. You get laid off, but guess what? You already went on that interview, so maybe there's just like 2-3 weeks of downtime. That's okay. You're more prepared because you listen to the cues. I feel like I'm getting distracted again, but I hope this explains why and how you can communicate with your guides and how to be open. Let me know in the comments. I don't know what else I can say to you, except for if this wasn't enough, but this sparked your interest, research it. There are so many resources out there. There are so many wonderful teachers who have been doing this for decades. So I mentioned in that comment when I responded, you can go check it out. I did kind of go into detail as much as I could. But Sonia Choquette is one person that's coming to mind. Susan Lin is another one. I already mentioned Steve Noble. But there are so many people out there. Find the person that resonates with you. There's a woman, I see her face. She has dark hair, short, it's almost like we call it a boy cut. My goodness, I can't remember her name though, but I can see her face. I think she used to work in the Army, Navy. She was someone in the Navy. They showed me ships. That was my correction. And her journey, how she started was, I think it was her daughter or her stepdaughter that passed away. And the reason that she started deciding to connect was because she wanted to connect with her. She wanted to hear from her. She was like, okay, if there is another realm, if there is something beyond death, I want to know that she's okay. Show me a sign, show me a sign. And she kept connecting, trying to connect with her daughter or stepdaughter, something. I'm not really sure about the relationship, but see, I'm mentioning her, and if you're supposed to follow her or, just look for her resources, you might see her video pop up or a book of hers come your way somehow, some way, some form, okay? That's really how it works. But yeah, there's so many people out there. There are guided meditations that can help you connect with your spirit guides. There are courses there. I think Hay House has some if you go on their website. But you're not restricted. You're definitely not restricted by your financial abilities right now. There are so many free resources. So look it up, check it out on YouTube, and just search connect with your guides, connecting with your spirit guides, something to that effect. And I'm telling you, you will find someone that you resonate with that will better be able to guide you. Okay, someone who's more seasoned, because yeah, I've been doing this, but I mean, I'm talking about someone who's well into it, because remember, I did say I denied it for a long time. I wish I didn't. I really wish I didn't, but it was a part of my journey. I mean, I don't have any regret in that sense. I say I wish I didn't, but it's not with any I'm not upset at myself. It's just more like I know I would have been more skilled. Like I said, you know, that spiritual muscle, you've been working that out. And the messages would just come in so much more rapidly. And yeah, it would be different. I would be at a different level. But that's okay. It was a part of my journey. That denial kind of brought me down to a point where I had to connect. I needed that tower moment. Otherwise, I don't know. I would have connected because they would have made me. But that's just me. I needed that tower moment to kind of wake me up. Like, you, hello, come on, you can do this. You know you can. So do it. Stop denying it. Just do it. And that's what happened with this YouTube channel too. I didn't want to do this. I was just like, I don't know. There's so many people. It's so saturated. Who's going to want to listen to me? No, I don't want to. And now it's a good outlet. It's helping me hone my skill even more. And I feel like even if every video doesn't resonate, there's something that they send through for a reason that's going to connect with you, that's going to help you. And maybe that's going to send you on not maybe, I know that's going to send you on a journey of awakening and of that's, I was about to say defining, but just connecting with your guides, with source. It's going to enrich your life, okay? Maybe this is the only video that you're supposed to come across, and it's going to introduce you to one of the teachers that I mentioned or send you on that path. Do you know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason. It really does. Okay, so, 2121 I just saw. Yeah. I hope this video helped. I will be posting a different reading, not a different reading, one that I channeled. I think I mentioned that I'm on the East Coast and it's February 24th. We just got walloped by a massive snowstorm, so things are a little delayed. I wasn't able to kind of channel, record, and then post, you know, to schedule it. So maybe a little later today I'll try, but you'll definitely get one tomorrow, okay? If not, an extra reading, because this really wasn't a reading. This is just, I just felt inspired. Well, I felt called to. All right. Okay, so whenever you see this, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful night, and I really hope you consider practicing and developing your own connection with your guides so that whatever messages you watch, whatever information you come across, just helps you on your learning journey, okay? Because that's what this life really is. All right, so take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.